How's it going? I hate chemistry. I hate science in general. How's it going? What's going on, everyone? The Phoenix is in the shop right now, getting worked on. I took it in yesterday. I'll have a video up tomorrow of me taking the boat down to the shop. But they figured out what it is. I blew a head gasket, so they said it should be fixed in 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, we got snow here today. We have, I mean, not a ton, but we have a little bit on the ground. How's it going? I'm gonna plug my phone in real quick. Hold on. What is going on, everyone? So, I guess we can get started. As you guys could tell, I called this repairs and winter plans. So boat repairs. Here's the progress on the boat. I took it in the shop yesterday. I have a vlog that'll be posting tomorrow. Probably, well, it'll probably be up tonight. You can check it out tomorrow morning, where I took the boat into Lake Drive Marine in Coldwater. They've seen the same issue before on a couple other shows. It's a blown head gasket. They're hoping that I don't have any piston damage, but I'll get it back in 2 to 3 weeks, all covered under warranty. So that's good. That's good news. And then winter plans. I am hoping to do a collaboration. I might go down and visit Alex this winter sometime, Alex Rudd, and then I'm working with a couple other YouTubers to try and do a collaboration with them as well. Yeah, we got snow here today. I mean, we just got it tonight, so we have about 1 inch of snow. Our lakes aren't quite frozen yet. They'll be frozen in the next 2 weeks probably. At least enough where you can't fish. Right, by Christmas, our lakes will be frozen over to the point where we probably won't be able to fish. And then in January, we'll be able to get on the ice. What have you guys been up to this week? Anyone do anything exciting, any fishing? So check out some of these seeds that Big sent me. They just started coming out with the shellless seeds. These are the wasabi, and these are the just regular sea salt. But these are great because these don't have any shells or anything, which is really nice. These ones are really good. They sound really odd, but the wasabi sunflower seeds are great. Ronnie, that's pretty cool. What kind of tungsten did you get? Did you buy like flipping weights, or what kind of weights did you buy? I'll do ice fishing probably in the spring. Probably in January or February, I'll go ice fishing. I'm just not, I don't know, I never really got into ice fishing too much. Where do you guys fish for walleye and lakers in Ontario? These wasabi seeds are not hot. I mean, they taste like, here's your handful of wasabi seed challenge. That's a decent amount of seeds. Outdoor with Surge. I'm up here in Michigan, so I fish. Really, I fish a lot of the Great Lakes. I fish some inland waters up here in Michigan as well. But I don't fish. I don't know. I don't fish any of the big lakes down south or anything. Yeah, so Fishing Geek is doing a giveaway. When he reaches, I believe, 1,000 subscribers. So once he reaches 800, I promise I'd post a thing on mine. So Bassin, I took my boat in yesterday. I'm gonna have a vlog coming out tomorrow morning, but I took the boat in yesterday. It's a blown head gasket. It's also a. We're hoping I don't have any piston damage, but for sure a blown head gasket. So they said 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a little bit longer because they're closing down for winter hours. But I mean, I'll have it back for spring. When the lakes freeze, I probably hope to go and take a couple trips. I know I want to go down to Texas sometime this winter. I also want to hopefully go down and visit Alex and fish with him sometime this winter as well. But I want to get like 2 or 3 trips in this winter somewhere. So I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah, thank goodness my boat is all going to be covered under warranty. So my warranty runs out April of 2017, so I'm glad my boat broke down now as opposed to after April next season. But yeah, so those are my winter plans. Some ice fishing as well, but yeah, I know I want to go to California. I'll be at the Novi show probably. I'll also probably be at the Grand Rapids show in March. It depends on when it lines out because I'm going to go to the Classic. So if the Novi show is when the Classic is, I won't be at that. Or excuse me, if the Grand Rapids show is when the Classic is, I won't be at that show. I don't know what the dates are for the Grand Rapids show this year, but I'll definitely be at the Novi show, at least for a day. I'll do a meetup there. Do you guys have any questions for me? What? Okay, here's a question. My favorite beaver crop, or favorite beaver bait. The Gambler Ugly Otter is pretty good. I also like, it's not really a beaver bait, but the Strike King Shell Cracker is pretty good. It looks just like a little bluegill or a little perch. Yeah, so the DNR show, I won't be working it though. I won't be there because that's like a store show as opposed to a big Michigan trade show, right? So I'll work the trade shows, but not necessarily the DNR show, like not individual store shows. Chatterbait trailers. Look at the new Zako trailer from Gary Yamamoto. I'll write it right here. Look at Zako trailer. Also, yeah, you can also run the Bass Magnet Lure shifter shad on the back. That works really well too. If you run like the 3.5 inch, it's a more compact size, and so it kind of keeps your bait running true and looks just like a little bluegill or a little shad coming through the water. Here's one thing about the Bass Magnet Lures products. They have $100 free shipping. They are in Canada, so if you want to order them, I recommend paying the $100 and getting $100 worth of stuff. They have a ton of products. My top 5 products: the Twitch, the Fat Fry. Well, okay, you want to get one of each of the Twitch. You want to get the big size and small size. It depends on what those fish are feeding on. The Fat Fry is also really good. It's basically an alternative to the Twitch. The shifter shad, I like the smaller size. I like the smaller size because It imitates a lot of the bait fish better, but they do have the full 5-inch size as well. And then the tubes are really good too. They have a really good size tube. I told Mike that I'd like them to expand on some of the colors for the tubes, but they're pretty good. Yeah, Lady Bass, you do get really cheap shipping. How far are you away from them? Aren't they? I think they're in Belleville. Another good product on Tackle Warehouse if you don't want to order from Bass Magnet Lures, look at the Bass Assassin swim baits. I think they only come in one size, like 4.7 inches, but they're very similar to the Bass Magnet Lure Shifter Shad. I really think it's the same mold, to be honest with you guys. Yeah, so a guy named Jamie Irwin owns a hobby sports shop. I think it's Pro Advantage Hobby and Sport or something, but he carries all the Bass Magnet Lures products. Yeah, I've looked at the Swing and Hammer. Never had one, never tried one, but my favorite bait for smallmouth depends on the time of year. I like to catch them on a drop shot. I'll throw the Twitch a lot. The Twitch is a great drop shot bait. If I had my favorite bait to catch smallmouth is either crankbait or swim bait, just because when you're reeling that bait in, those fish will absolutely crush it. Like they'll stop it. You're ready to be moving, and they'll hit it on the tail, and the bait will just stop. The reel I currently use on my drop shot is a Lose Tournament Pro reel, I believe. It's a 3,000 size, and it's a 6:2 to 1, I believe. So it picks up line really fast, and that's key when you're fishing for smallmouth. Is you want to pick up line as fast as possible, because those fish run fast, right? And a lot of drop shots or a lot of spinning reels are like 5-0 to 1s and 4-9 to 1s. So if you find one of those spinning reels, and the one I use, I think I don't know, it's a Lose Tournament Pro or something, but it's a 6:2 to 1, so it picks up line really fast. The best knot for fluorocarbon, I think, is San Diego Jam knot. I actually use the Palomar knot about 90% of the time, just because it's really, really fast, and I retie a lot. But if you're one of those guys that doesn't retie much, I would use a San Diego Jam knot. The camera I use besides the GoPro is a Canon G7X. It's just a small point-and-shoot camera, but it has 1080p at 60 frames a second. That allows you to shoot pretty good slow motion. It has 1080-30, and it has pretty good autofocus. It has good audio pickup as well. Let me show you. Hold on. Whew. So this is my setup. So you see a lot of guys that run like the big DSLRs with the Joby mounts. This mount was $12.99. Camera's a lot less expensive than a DSLR, but you still have the flip-up screen. So like you can see what you're filming when you're vlogging, when you're filming yourself. I put this little micro muff on here late in the season when I was fishing with AP and Chris, because I was getting some issues where I was having some issues where there was just absolute ton of wind noise. And this has cut down on that wind noise a lot for me. So this is my setup. And then look like a fool. So my buddy actually canceled on me. We were going to go steelhead fishing, but unfortunately, the weather kind of looked funny today. We didn't know what the fish were going to do, and Hayden kind of said he wanted to get me on fish. He didn't want me to go out for my first time and really, really struggle. So we decided not to go out, and then, of course, the weather was perfect. So that's just kind of how it goes. How's it going, Bass Bullies? I don't necessarily have any loyalty on rods. If you were to look at my boat, I probably have 10 different companies' rods in there. So I don't have a ton of loyalty on any of the rods. On the reels, I really like the Lose products. I like all the Lose products are really, really good. I don't know if anyone else is going to hop on or not on here. If Alex sent me a text message, I'll send him the link as well. But I think tonight it might just be me. I'm trying to get a couple different YouTubers to come and do a live stream with me. I know one of them is Swimbait Chronicles. If you've ever seen any of his videos, he's from Las Vegas. And he throws exclusively swim baits. He's a great, he has a lot of really, really cool videos. Really high quality stuff too. I've never really used any 13 rods or reels. I had one spinning rod and I dropped it in the lake. It fell into the lake or something. All my bait casters are Lose, with the exception of the Shimano Curado E series. I have a 5.0-1 and a 7.1-1 in the E series. But beyond that, I use a lot of the BB1 Pros. That's my favorite Lose reel. I also really like the LFS series. The $99 reels are pretty good. They'll last you about a season and a half though before you start having components that want to die on you. I've had my BB1 Pros now for 2.5 seasons, and I've not had a single issue with them. I don't fish 5/8 as much as I should. I could throw them on like northern parts of Lake Huron, but where I fish, the water is a little bit dirtier. The LFS reels, if you just buy the standard LFS Speed Spool, it's okay. I have it on a couple of rods, but it's definitely not nearly as good as the BB1 Pro. The BB1 Pro is my favorite one. The LFS series is okay. They have the LFS Tournament series, and those are great. Like the $99 reels it's a $99 reel. It's pretty good, but it's not like gonna blow anything out of the water. The one thing I don't recommend: do not buy the 5.1 LFS series reel because it doesn't have immediate anti-reverse. And I think they do that so if you like are fighting a fish or something, it'll kind of play backwards on you. But I don't like that because I want to have all that feel when I'm reeling in a crankbait. I don't want it to have that bounce on me. Yeah. The old green Curados are great. I've never thrown any of the Japanese-made reels. And the new Curados, the 70 and the 200, are pretty good as well. Outdoors with Surge. I'm not sure what you were asking. I'm sorry. The Tridge. I don't know. I know guys are catching them on like a small Ned rig. So like a tiny little hook with a small TRD on the bat. Or you can throw a tube. You can probably catch them on a tube as well. Really, fish should bite anything. You can catch them on a crankbait, I'm sure. The best knot to tie Florida braid is probably, it's called the Dodd knot, the DODD knot. I don't personally know how to tie it. I use a swivel when I'm tying for spinning rods, but the knot that I use on my bait casting is a blood knot. Most I would spend on a rod and reel. It depends, I guess. I've thrown a couple of the Megabass jerk baits. I throw the 110 plus one, but I don't want to spend $28 on a 110 when I can spend $8 on a knockoff 110, a Lucky Strike. My personal best bass, I have a 6'9" smallmouth, and then I had a giant largemouth that I never got a scale on. How's it going, William? I do have my 6'9" smallmouth. There is a video on it. It's just a highlight video, so it's just music. But I think it's called Lake Huron, 27 pounds 6 ounces or something. I know there was a fishing moose. Most of it's spent on a rod and reel. I don't know. That's a tough question. It depends on what I'm buying. I've started building my own rods. I think that's a decent way to go if you really know what you're doing. I don't yet, so it's tough, but I like the idea of building my own rods. You can make it exactly how you want it, and you save a little bit of money, not much. And then a reel. I don't think I'd spend more than $200 on a reel. There's so many great reels out there for $200 that it's hard to spend any more than that. Although the Shimano Metanium is, I almost bought one, and that's a lot more expensive. Yeah, I've used just a straight snap, especially when I'm trying to eliminate water, figure out um, what those fish are feeding on, or like what color. I'll use the snap until I can figure out exactly what color to dial in on. But I won't, if I'm fishing like a tournament or I'm fishing to get as many bites as possible, I won't use the snap. I think it causes you to lose or not get as many bites as you could otherwise. Uh, I guess here's a good tip: how to break down a lake. The biggest key. There's a lot of videos out there about how to break down a lake, but I'll try to do one for you. If I had to give you like a 2-minute synopsis of what I do to go about breaking down a lake, number one key is what time of year is it? What should those fish be doing? So if I know those fish are post spawn, or exactly, let me rephrase that. If I know those fish are pre-spawn, I'll kind of look for areas where they'll be staging up to go back. And you just want to understand the seasonal pattern, right? And then from there, you'll get out to the water, figure out what the water temp is, the water clarity, and kind of look for something that matches the season. So a lot of it's very seasonal based. And then I always work shallow, then go deep. For me, it's easier to break down shallow water than it is for me to break down deep water. So unless I know they're deep, I'm going to stay shallow. But that's a good question. It's hard for me to talk about or make a video on because I think there's so many things that go into breaking down a lake. It's a lot of going with your gut instinct too. Like going out to the lake, picking up a confidence bait, and going down the bank and trying to find some fish. One thing I found more often than not is when I go out there with something set in my mind that, oh, the fish are going to be on this exactly, I struggle a lot more than if I just go out fishing. So go with an open mind. I'm sure you'll catch a couple extra fish. My favorite largemouth lake. Secord Lake's a really, really good largemouth lake. It's probably one of my favorite largemouth lakes. My favorite type of line is some Sunline Sniper. That's a fluorocarbon. I don't use braid very often because our waters are pretty clear. I mean, 3 to 5 foot clarity on a lot of our bodies of water. Yeah, boat can rest in peace. My boat's going to be resting in peace until probably January. Yeah, I'll try to do a video on seasonal patterns. Maybe I'll do like a video where I talk about pre-spawn in a video, talk about post-spawn, spawn, and so on and so forth. Kind of go through all the seasons in different videos. Yeah, Alex, I think that's actually still a ways from Alex, Lake Lanier. Would I rather drop shot for a full day or throw a jig for a full day? I'd probably throw a jig for a full day if I'm fishing for largemouth. I have a better chance of catching big bites on a jig than I do catching big fish on a drop shot. If I'm fishing smallmouth, it'll be the opposite. I've thrown an A-rig a little bit, Joel. I don't throw it a lot. I've never caught a fish on an A-rig, so it's something I definitely need to explore and get more used to. Ronnie, centrifugal or magnetic brakes, I don't really have a preference. I think both work very similarly. You just kind of get used to that reel. For me, it's more about getting used to the reel instead of used to like centrifugal brakes over magnetic. What's going on, Fishing Heaven? Is it worth getting into big swim baits? I don't know. I think you kind of change your mindset when you get into big swim baits as opposed to just going out to try and catch fish. I think the biggest thing about getting into big swim baits is that you have to understand you're not going to always go out and catch fish. And this is something I want to kind of explore a little bit in 2017. Maybe dedicate a month to going out and throwing big baits and see if I can't figure them out or figure out what I need to do to catch more fish. But it's just a confidence thing. I know a lot of people say once you catch fish on a big swim bait, you'll be kind of hooked. You want to learn more about it, and that's probably true, but it's something you definitely have to commit yourself to. So what day this upcoming week will work for you guys for me to do a live stream? I'm thinking Wednesday or Thursday again, but which of those 2 days would work best? Oops. So here's a shout out to Big Seeds. They sent me some of these shellless sunflower seeds. These are wasabi. They also have the sea salt. And they've started doing pumpkin seeds with some of their seed flavors. So they have pumpkin seeds now with the black sea salt or sea salt black pepper. And so, yeah, check those out. Looks like Wednesday is going to be the day. Tactical Bassin has a really good video on beginning swim bait. So does Swim Bait Chronicles. I think Huddleston's tried and true. I think it's a great way to get into swim baiting, especially in cold water. The River to CS waiver, if you're looking for a glide bait, is definitely a cheap way to go. Cheap way to get, or inexpensive way to get into it. They catch a lot of fish, and that's a great way to get into glide baiting without having to spend a ton of money. Especially like the 168, which is the 6-inch bait. It's only $18. So for a glide bait, that's nothing. 6 to 8-inch swim bait, I'm looking, if it's a Huddleston, I'm going to throw it out there. It's going to sink to the bottom, and I'm going to throw it on 5-0 to 1 or 5-5 to 1. You want that slow retrieve because you just want to bring that Huddleston slow along the bottom. I mean, like, painfully slow along the bottom. If I'm throwing a glide bait, I'm gonna pick like a 6-1 to 1 or a 7-1 to 1 because you want to get that bait moving. You want to be able to get that bait moving through the waterfall. Hayden, why do you say that Huddleston suck? What makes you feel that way? I've never really thrown one. I've never caught a fish on one, so I'm interested, not being facetious. Yeah, Nicole. My favorite are the dill bigs. Dill makes amazing, or Biggs makes amazing dill pickle seeds. I've ridden in 2 Skeeters. It's a pretty good boat. I think I think it's just preference more than anything, to be honest with you. Using a glide bait for bed fishing, I think I'd use it more so for targeting bed fish, right? So casting it in an area, where I know that there should be fish on beds. A glide bait might help me catch some of those fish. Yeah, Caleb, I'll send you the seeds, man. It's been crazy busy at work and trying to balance this YouTube stuff. So it's just a matter of me getting to the post office. Yes, Matt Allen Matt Allen is from Tactical Bass, and he made an amazing video on throwing swim baits and throwing big swim baits. What do I use for finicky fish? My favorite thing is probably a drop shot. I love to throw a drop shot for fish that are a little bit finicky or skittish. I think it helps catch fish when those fish aren't necessarily or pretty lethargic. Yeah, I want to do a subscriber tournament. I think if we get to 5,000 subscribers before March, I'll do a subscriber tournament. I just need to have that kind of return, right? I need to make sure I can get enough people to make it worth the time to do subscriber tournament. Yeah. The Tactical Bassin dudes are awesome. They post some really great content. They're really dedicated to helping people catch fish. So I'm a huge fan of both Matt and Tim. I'm not sure. Subscriber tournament. Subscriber tournament would probably be like a bank fishing tournament, and I'd do it somewhere in Michigan. I hope to have 15,000 by March. I actually have a video that I want to do, but I didn't get around to it today. I can't find enough. So here's the video I want to do. Well, you'll see. Never mind. I'll figure it out and I'll make it work and I'll post this video probably next week. I would love to fish St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence River would be awesome. There's some big fish in there. Yeah, bluegill and perch are going to bite your drop shot bait. The best thing you can do. I mean, here's the thing. Here's my thoughts on bluegill and perch biting my drop shot bait to pieces. What I recommend is let them do that, and when they're biting it, just kind of shake it really violently, and what that'll do, it'll make those bass or those fish sense that your bait's, like an injured bluegill or injured bait fish, and what'll happen is you'll feel the perch or bluegill stop biting it, and the bass will come up and eat your bait. That's what's funny about a drop shot is, and bass in particular, they're very territorial. So if there's a bait down there and there's other fish or there's other fish or gobies that are looking at your bait, those bass will come to take it from you. How's it going, Clark? I wanted to do a Barbie rod challenge. I think it's overdone. I think so many people have done the Barbie rod challenge that it's like overused. Yeah, so there was a company that sent me baits, Rhino Bait Company. They make stick baits that are really good, and their stick baits are there's no salt added, and well, I don't know if they're salt added. They're basically just really soft, but they sink well. They catch a lot of fish, but they tear up very easily. Their jigs are great. They're coming out with the tungsten jig line, so that's going to be nice. Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate it, man. I hope I'm the next John B. I hope I can reach that caliber. I guess I should say that. Yeah, I had problems with my Yamaha. I still think Yamaha's a great motor. If I were to do it again, I'd still buy a Yamaha. If I got a new boat tomorrow, it'd be a Yamaha on the back. I think it's a one-off issue. I think there's nothing I could have done. I don't think that there's anything really wrong with the motor as much as just something fluky went on and the motor had issues. Everyone I've talked to said Yamahas are known for hardly ever having issues. Funny thing, doing a shark rod and reel challenge would be tough because there's no shark rods here. Oh. So I didn't actually go steelhead fishing today. My buddy that I was supposed to go out with wasn't able to go. We were looking at the weather. The weather changed, and unfortunately, we weren't able to make it out or didn't make it out. And of course, the weather got what would have been a good wet. Like I don't know that much about steelhead fishing, but I think he was looking for the water temp to warm up, and we were supposed to get snow this morning, so he was afraid it was going to drop, and of course it didn't, and whatever else. But we didn't go today. Yeah, you're going to see more Yamaha, or you're going to see more Mercury's in the Yamaha in the dealership. And I've had this discussion because I've had this discussion with a couple people, and I don't know if it's because there's more Yamahas on the, or more Mercury's on the water, or they really have any more issues. But yeah. AP is a funny dude. You guys, I mean, you guys see AP in the video, AP, but when you see AP in person, like literally AP in person, he was on my live stream a couple weeks ago. He's just a really, really great dude. Yeah. So you're going to get more top end out of a Mercury than a Yamaha. And it's just going to be minuscule, right? So if you have a Yamaha and a Mercury running side by side, going the same place, same distance, you're going to see the Yamaha to head first because they have better hole shot, and then the Mercury will come up and pass you. Yeah, Alex, he's very, very genuine, very sincere. He's a really, really cool dude. I mean, all those guys are great guys, but when Alex came up here, it was a lot of fun. He's a great, great guy. Yeah. Oh, dude, I couldn't even watch the video where he got that hook through his hand. I watched his video and I don't know how that didn't go through his bone. I could not even hardly watch that video. Yeah, it's snowing really, really bad up here right now. Yeah, so John, I think, just turned 21. Is just turning 21, and AP's 19. So they're humble dudes. They're great guys, and they're making a lot of bank. So I have a video coming out, a vlog coming out, and it's gonna make you guys appreciate how hard those guys work, because I filmed yesterday and I tried to get like all the B-roll and all of the hard shots to get and make it kind of interesting, but especially when you have to do the edits, it's very, very difficult to do what those guys do on a regular basis. Like John is a very, I wish John could sit next to me and edit his videos so I could just watch him edit. And I know that sounds stupid, but what he does is very difficult. The video for today or the video from today, Nick? My favorite drop shot hook. It doesn't really change. I like to throw a 1/0, and so for the whole year I threw a Gamakatsu G Finesse Aaron Martin's 1/0 drop shot hook. I picked up the Owner Mosquito 1/0 hooks, and they're a little bit different, but they're also great hooks. I mean, they have a little bit longer shank. It's more open. I'm interested to play with it and see how it works. I also really want to try the Nico hook. The Nico hook, everything that I've heard about, is an amazing drop shot hook. Here's my thing about a drop shot hook, and Seth Biter talks about it a little bit. If you guys watched his video where he here's the thing I learned about drop shot hooks and kind of noticed along the way, but Seth Biter talks about it quite a bit, was that with a small drop shot hook, a lot of times, and I've noticed this, you get a lot of fish that are skin hooked because it's just a tiny hook. There's a small gap that's like this wide. Well, if you go to a wider gap or a bigger hook, you're going to get more of that fish's mouth on the hook. So when he bites your hook, let me see if I can do an illustration for you guys. Let me find a piece of paper. Okay, here's lessons with Ben, okay? This is your drop shot hook. This is your Gamakatsu Aaron Martin's G Finesse drop shot hook. This whoops. That's your Nico rig hook. And that and that's your owner hook. So that's your Gamakatsu hook. That's your owner hook, and that's your Nico hook. Now you have to imagine your bait coming off and your line coming off. With this hook here, that fish, his mouth has this much room to get hooked. This hook, the owner mosquito hook that comes straight out, that fish no longer has a hook gap that he has to bite. All he has to do is bite your bait, get his mouth over this hook. Finally, this hook here, the Nico hook, and I think this is why this hook's so successful. You have a much bigger gap between the line and the hook point. So you thread your bait a little bit farther on the hook. That fish now has all of this hook he can bite, where he can get that hook in his mouth. And that's why I think these hooks are essentially better. Those bigger hooks or wider gap hooks are better for catching big fish. So hold on. Okay, so I haven't tried the rebarb hook from RoboWorm, but I don't actually know where they went because I can't find the rebarb hook anymore. MLB Dassel, you are funny, dude. Yeah, so normally I use that's why I use a 1/0 hook. I think there's a little bit bigger gap for that fish to get than like a size 2 hook. See you, Caleb. My room is messy, but I'll show you guys the room. Hold on. Okay, so we got my bed there. That no one actually really wants to see. So, closet. This here, that's like a catch-all. There's some toilet stuff. There's a couple buckets of Bigs, TV, and that's just a pile of junk. So, that's your room tour. It's obviously not an episode of Cribs, but yeah. The VMC hook's built on the swivel. I go back and forth. It's more hook, or it's more knots that you have to tie, right? So if I can get away with 2 knots as opposed to 1, 2, 3 knots, it's, in my opinion, a little bit more secure in the connection. But I do tie braid to a swivel to my fluorocarbon, and then I have my hook down to my drop shot. I've only used the VMC hooks a couple times. I ended up giving a whole bunch of them away. I didn't want to say a whole bunch. I mean like 5. So I don't have a ton of experience with them either. But. Okay, I probably missed some questions when I was doing my little artistry for you guys. So let me double check. Okay, so Andrew Franco says I should try and fish with Scott Martin. I would love to fish with Scott. I know he's come up here and fished with my buddy Mike Barker, but I'd like to get him up here and try and catch some big smallmouth as well. Misconception, I'm not sponsored by Garmin. I know the rep at Garmin, and I've gotten a discount code from Garmin, but I'm not sponsored by them. That's why you see me run a GoPro. Although I do think the Garmin Ultra 30, the new Garmin Verb Ultra 30 camera, is much better than the new GoPro Hero 5. I've never tried the Crazy Alberto. The problem is I get so like stuck in using a certain knot that I don't want to change because I get so fast at using like the blood knot that it's hard for me to switch knots. So until I have a break-off issue, until I have issues with my knot not holding, I will probably just stay with what I use. And that might be a terrible mindset to have, but that's just my opinion. The Garmin is better because you get better audio pickup. If you look at the case, you can get audio pickup inside of the waterproof housing, which, as many of you guys have seen in John and Rob's videos, the GoPro Hero 5 is totally waterproof, or supposedly totally waterproof, right? But what that means is audio is terrible when you just use it as a regular camera all the time. So you get sound quality underwater, but it's terrible, and it's terrible when it's out, you know, on a chest mount. And when I say terrible, this is what it sounds like all the time. So if you watch their videos, that's what you'll notice, and that's one of the biggest issues with it. Picture quality is still great, but if I were going to get a GoPro, I would get a GoPro Hero 4, or I would get a Garmin. Actually, John, nor Rob, nor Parrot use mics on the GoPros. None of those guys use mics on the GoPros. Flair uses a mic. Rob will use a lav mount when he's on his boat. He'll run a wireless mic to himself and then run the wireless receiver to his camera in the back. But when they're on my boat, they don't use my external mics to the GoPro. I would love to fish with Flair. I want to fish with any of those dudes. Yeah, one rod uses an external mic, so does Flair. Clark, I played around without using a swivel, and I don't know if it makes a difference or not. It probably does, but for me, it's like habit. So I don't know. I have a GoPro. So the GoPro that I film with is a GoPro Hero 3, not the Plus. My Hero 3 Plus died, and it probably needs to be upgraded. It definitely needs to be upgraded, but I don't want to spend the money. Well, thanks, William. I appreciate it, man. I didn't go fishing this weekend, unfortunately. I took the boat down to Lake Drive in Coldwater. That was a 5-hour round trip yesterday, which really turned into about 8 hours. And then today I was supposed to fish, but it didn't work out, so I didn't get to go. Let me check my phone. It's over here charging. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I've heard the contours are pretty good. Clark, that's a good point, especially downsizing line. I think that's a big thing. So when you're fishing, especially heavily pressured bodies of water, or even you'll notice the difference between two guys fishing in the front of the boat and one in the back of the boat. If one guy's fishing 6 and one guy's fishing 8, there is, I think you'll notice a difference in hookups or in number of fish caught. Bass in the Northwest. That sucks, man. Yeah, this winter I'm really going to try to save a lot of money, so I won't probably buy anything too much. Yeah. Yeah, you'll notice rate of fall change really a lot too. I've noticed that um, especially with like my swim baits. If I fish a swim bait on sunline 16 pound versus sunline 14, the bait falls a lot faster on 14 than it is 16. What you guys don't realize is that tiny diameter change. When you have 100 feet of line out there, when you have 200 feet of line out there, that's a lot difference when the that's a lot different. There's a lot of difference when that water's, or excuse me, bait's trying to fall through the water. Yeah, lady bass. That's a big conflict of interest, right? I mean, I want to save a lot of money, but I want to go on a couple trips down south. Here's the way I can justify in my head. If I don't buy tackle, I can go on trips. Is because if I were fishing a lot, if I were fishing and it was summertime, I would be spending a lot more in a month than I would if I take one trip down south. So. Oh dang, dude! If you can get that hinkle trout, that'll be sick. Uh, I actually cast my drop shots a lot more than I vertically fish them. And the reason I do that, I get it away from the boat. And with my Panoptics, I can see the targets out in front of me that I want to pick apart, rather than just looking straight down. So like with that Panoptics, a lot of my stuff is like small rock piles. I can see that rock pile out in front of me, and so I'll take my drop shot and I'll pitch it out in front of me like 20 feet instead of fishing right on top of it. Yeah, I don't know how much inkles are. I'm just kind of starting to look into the swim bait game, so I'm keeping it very realistic. I bought a couple S waivers. I bought 2 dual baits, and I bought Huddleston. I think that might be it. Maybe I bought an Osprey. I don't know. I'll do an unboxing when I get my stuff in. I don't know how much I really bought, but not a lot. I think I only spent like $80, which relatively that's a lot of money, but it's not a ton for swim baits. There's a lot of really good comments in here tonight about line size and how line diameter affects fish. So that's pretty cool because I have noticed a difference between if I'm fishing 6-pounder and fishing 8-pound tests. See you later, Nicholas. Yeah, I fished Traverse City here, or I fished Charlevoix early this spring, and then I fished Grand Traverse a little bit later this year. And I struggled on Grand Traverse. I really, really, really struggled. On Charlevoix, I did okay. Not great, but okay. I really struggle in that ultra clear water. When the water is like super clear, like 20 plus feet clear, I struggled real bad. Mainly because I don't know where to find some of these fish that are super, 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 super deep. When I say super deep, I'm talking like 30 plus feet. A lot of my fish come in like 15 or less. Yeah, there's so many swim baits that you can blow on. Favorite jerk bait? Um, that's a good question. I fish the 6 cents per Voke 106X a lot. That's just a standard, medium diver jerk bait. The Vision 110 plus one, the Megabass bait, that's a pretty good jerk bait as well. I actually run, they call it Vermilion Red, Power Pro does. It's pink. It's pink line. I fish that instead of the yellow. I think for me, for my eyes, the yellow is actually harder to see than the red. And the red supposedly, or the pink supposedly disappears 8 foot below the surface. I don't know how true that is. I'm sure there's some science behind it, but for me, it's more so about being able to see my line. Plus, not many people run pink break. So. Never fished a Spro jerkbait. Some of my buddies really like them. It has a different action than the Megabass 110. The Rogues, those have a really heavy rolling action, don't they? Like when you jerk that bait, doesn't it want to kind of roll under and out? That's kind of what I heard. Kind of because it has that more round body style. That's the thing a lot of people overlook with jerk baits. I still throw the Husky jerks from Rapala occasionally because it has more roll and more flash than like a Vision 110 or a 6 cents per Vogue with flatter sides that just kind of wants to dart and doesn't have as much roll to it. So you'll have baits, jerk baits that want to turn and roll, and then you'll have baits that just kind of want to twitch side to side. What else would you guys like to talk about? See me talk about, interact with you guys about. Do you guys watch any professional or college football? Dang, those Yamamotos. I've never fished them. I've heard some decent things about them, but never fished them. We might only go a few more minutes on this tonight because yeah, I'm kind of tired today. I played lacrosse at a small D2 school, Northwood University. I think the Wings are on right now. I should speak of that. I'm actually a big hockey fan. I don't watch a ton of professional football. I think it's a lot less interesting to me than college football. But I watch a ton of hockey. There's a part of me that thinks Western should have gotten a bigger bowl seed than they did. The Red Wings are kind of a disappointment this year. Like, I'm actually concerned they're not going to make the playoffs this year because they just are so young and so inconsistent. They can't play a full game. This is the Red Wings, by the way, Detroit Red Wings. And so they lose games late. They just let in 4 goals. Last night in the third period, just terrible. Like they looked so confused yesterday. It's just disgusting. Bassin, you're funny, man. I think even if the Wings stayed healthy, they'd still be inconsistent. They have so many young players that when you're drawing up 4 or 5 people a game, it's just so. I mean, you're drawing up 4 or 5 players from Grand Rapids a game, and it's just tough to really be consistent. I think Datsuk's a big part of it. I also think it's just they're lacking leadership even from the veterans. I think Vanek stepped up and really helped them out a lot. He's a great player. But when you only got, I'll see you, G. But when you only have like 1 or 2 players that come out and really show up every night, it's tough. But yeah, we're only going to go for a few more minutes. I'll catch the Wings, and then I'm going to head to bed pretty early tonight. Again, I have a video coming out tomorrow. It'll be my vlog from when I went down and took my boat in. So I saw that. Thad's got a girl that plays hockey. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, Nicole, for sure. If they were healthy, they'd be more consistent. They just need some leadership too. I mean, they have the best goaltending in the league, and if you can't get any offense generated, then it's tough. So we're gonna go for 2 minutes. So if anyone has any questions, send them in now, and I will try to answer your questions as quickly as possible or whenever they come through. Okay, I'll give it, 1 minute or so. I'll give it 1 minute or so to kind of let these questions come through. But okay, favorite frog. I think Sproul makes one of the best frogs on the market. You have to look at who made it, right? Dean Rojas had a big hand in helping Sproul make the Sproul frog. So Sproul makes a great frog. Alex Rudd's a huge fan of the Nori's frog. It's a Japanese frog. It's like $15 for one bait. But I mean, if you're fishing competitively or you want to put more fish in the boat with frogs, a Nori's frog might be the way to go. I only fish blade baits a little bit. I should fish them more in the cold, but I think there are other baits that catch fish okay in the cold as well. Early season and late season, I'll fish a blade, but beyond that, I'll see you later, Vasson. I fished tournaments last year a little bit. It's hard to fish tournaments and make videos because then you share with people the spots that you're fishing. So one of my favorite things is filming and fishing. So for me, it's hard to go out there and film and fish when I'm fishing a tournament. I'll see you, Josh. Have a nice night, man. I'm actually going to call it a wrap as well. We're going to end this vlog, or we're going to end this live stream. Matthew, favorite pro? Either Brandon Polinick or Justin Lucas. I really like Justin Lucas a lot. I think he's growing into the role that's going to be like a very top tier angler. I like I like Jacob Brosnick. I like Jason Christie. Aaron Martins is good as well. But anyways, we're gonna end the vlog, or we're gonna end the live stream. I'll have a vlog out tomorrow morning. I'll have another video out. I think I'll have another video out on Tuesday. I'm probably gonna have 3 or 4 videos out this week totally. So that includes my Wednesday live stream. So if you guys enjoyed this, once I'm done, give it a thumbs up. It helps get my channel out there more, get it recommended more. So go down and click the thumbs up button on the live stream. It'll help my videos be recommended more to other people. But I'll be doing another live stream Wednesday at 7 p.m. And as always, guys, thank you for joining in the live broadcast. And take care, Tight Lines. God bless.